What's going on, my Niiji, my tribe of Turtle Island, all my melanated people around the world? Um, in today's video, it's not going to be that long. I want to discuss money. Money. It's all about the dollar, right? It's all about what I discovered when I took a deep dive into money was a little bit shocking. Money is a way that us Niiji are controlled, tricked out of our land. This is the way that the government is able to enforce laws and behaviors that do not benefit us as a nation. And they use other videos. Is this the same money that they say you take the church and you turn it in and you're supposed to get blessed because you're paying your tithes 10% to God? And it even has on here, on this money, it says, "In God we trust." In God we trust. These presidents that they put on this money right here, these are the same presidents that stole the land, took the land. How are they using this tool to control us? Because the same cotton that the money is printed on was owned by the indigenous people, my ancestors. Cotton King, which was in Haka, aka Tallahassee, Florida, that area full of cotton fields, and we just grew cotton. Like, we grew so many fruits and vegetables, but cotton was one of the main crops. And they saw this. Once they get off the boats, they came over here in their boats, got off the ships. They had soldiers who were hungry, so they went to different Indian villages. One story I read said that they went to one village, and what they would do is they would look for the Kakai. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but it's Cacique, and that basically means the chief or the king. And they would ask for the chief and then say, "Hey, chief, we need a couple of your people to carry our luggage and shit." And the chief would be like, "No." So that would piss off the immigrants, like, aka the Europeans. We need somebody to carry our stuff. They didn't really understand that you don't just pull up to someone's native land, start a war because you're hungry, and ask them to give you people, just give you some of their people to carry your stuff. And then when they refuse, to say, "You know what, screw you, we just gonna bomb you and take the whole piece of land." So what they would do is they would plot, try to do the gifts exchange, but at some point they just got pretty evil. So they would pull up, shoot, bomb, and then squat on the land, take the land, put up a fort, say this is our land, move to the next village and do the same exact thing. So eventually, once they figured out, we're just gonna take this land, and they took all the land, started doing treaties and making up fake paperwork, something to control us with, to take the land even more. And it's called money as we know today. Now, this money that you see today, it's all over the US, but this isn't always how it looks. I'm going to put a couple images on the screen so you can see the different stages that money went through. So when I was doing this deep dive, I didn't realize they changed the money so much. One of the bills had George Washington and Martha Washington on the money. It had all these Europeans on the money. Some of them had all the names of the people who went to war against us on the money. So basically, you can see on the money, this is where they highlight the person who is doing the most to pretty much take the land and control the people. One of the people who on the money who I cannot really stand is Andrew Jackson, because he was one of the people who went to Oaxaca, which is my hometown, Tallahassee. And then he said, "Hey, bump the Spanish people. We don't know what y'all doing," but he bombed the people, took the land by force, and that's just how they got down. It was like bomb, squat, put up a fort, which was a cross, take the money. But in my hometown, I was so dumbfounded to know that Tallahassee had a railroad company before they came, right? So they took over the railroad company, took over the buildings, took over the banks that they had, and basically claimed it as their own. And they all the different states started to create their own currency. So if you go on websites like eBay, You'll find a lot of these old bills that they had in circulation that aren't in circulation anymore that are worth a lot of money. Like there was $1,000 bill. There's so many different bills that they tried before they came up with the money that we know today. Now, the thing about money and how it got started, money is super fake. Now, Robert Kiyosaki will always say this in his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, um, that the money was fake, right? And when you hear money is fake, a lot of people are like, money is fake. What does that even mean? Like, what you mean money is fake? Money is just something that's printed. They just come up with a design. They stole a lot of these designs and they print it. And for my Niiji out there, if you look on the back of the dollar bill, there's a pyramid or a mound you see on the back of the dollar bill. This is synonymous with Turtle Island. You know, the Indians, American Indians, the Indians, the Niiji. So the signs are all around us. But like I said, on this money, they use it to control us. Money is fake. And a lot of people probably don't realize this because it's not backed by anything. Back in the day, before the 1970s, this money represented, a debt where you can go in and trade this in for gold or silver. All right. So it was backed by gold. It was backed by silver. It was backed by actual coins, which made it worth something. After the 70s, they say, screw that. We just printing money. So now they just print it, send it to whoever, give it to this community, give it to their people who come over as immigrants, give it to the Caucasian communities, and they kind of shut us out. That was intentional to make us poor as melanated people here on Turtle Island and to make them wealthy. So that money was used as a tool, even though now it's fake, it's still being used as a tool to oppress a certain people, right? But like I said, they had money for the Tallahassee Railroad Company. Pretty much every when the colonies had their own form of money before they got together and said, hey, we can't all have our own money. We need to kind of make it one money, one bill. So they tried so many different designs. They switched it so many different times until they came up with the money that we see today. But before the 70s, it was all backed by gold. Okay, it was on the gold standard, which is why now there's the BRICS because they're trying to go back to the gold standard. So a lot of the countries are ditching the dollar because it's fake, and they're going to the BRICS because they're trying to have it backed by gold, which is not anymore. Another weird thing that I found out about money, especially when it comes to Anhaka, aka Tallahassee, aka South. They had their own railroad money. They had even a bill where they show us on the bill picking cotton, and they put slaves, but we know this was our land. Um, how could people who had this land before you came be slaves when you just stole the land and killed the chief and buried the chief and did all these evil things? So they had it as slaves on eBay, but we know that these were the indigenous Indians that are consistently being disrespected. Now I see it's just everywhere, the disrespect. Once you come into your true identity, you'll see the disrespect everywhere of sacred people. Just the ignoring us, writing us out of history, acting like we don't exist. So the people who today like, oh, y'all didn't exist, it's the other Siberians, Mongolians who are the Native Americans. You just don't want to know the real history. You just don't really want to know the truth. You just want to believe in the matrix and the fairy tale because it's beneficial to you. But to the people who have been oppressed, to the people who have been hidden out of history, to the creators, to the Aboriginal, the Autochthonous, to the Niiji, you have no idea how that feels to be controlled by all of these different things. I found this chart. I think it's called a white supremacy chart of all the different ways that they use to hold us back from the beginning, like with the Bible, to the prisons, to the schools, to the money, to just the hate, the self-taught hate in schools. Like it's just so many ways and so many things that they have to use to oppress people. And I think it's just coming to a day and age where it's kind of sad, it's kind of shocking. It's a bit overwhelming. The information that floods your brain when you open up your brain and you get out of the matrix, the information that floods your mind is just astonishing. It's truly astonishing. So to see how they use this money, how they changed it so many times, how it's not even backed by gold, how like a great percentage of the money was just printed in the past couple of years, how it's not worth anything. And here we go. We will work decades and decades and decades trying to chase the dollar. Listen, do something that gets you the dollar faster so you're not spending 40 years trying to chase something that's not real. You need to invest in some land, like invest in something that's tangible. Land. Yes, this is our ancestral land, but it's going to take a while for us to get it back going through the government because everybody's still acting like we don't want to know. Everybody's like this right here. Oh, I think they found out, but as long as we don't say nothing, as long as we keep trying to oppress them, as long as we keep doing things when they can't see and acting like we're for them, but in behind closed doors, we're still doing the same thing we did when we pulled up on the coast. How long can that go on? How long can the disrespect continue to go on towards the Niiji? Like with the money, that's a big thing. So is money fake? Money is absolutely fake. Money is absolutely meant to be used to buy tangible things. Like, don't take this money serious. Once I saw how unserious it was, I'm like, wow. And the last thing I want to touch on is the $5 Indians. So it's said that when I looked at the $5 Indians and I actually found the $5 Indian bill, check out the screen. Check out the screen. So they were able to pay $5 to be like enrolled as an Indian, even though they were immigrants, and they were given a piece of land on the reservation to be a Indian, like taught how to be an Indian, taught how to act like us, you know, $5 Indian. So it's just a lot of things and circumstances where they knew that number one, the Bible would control us. And one day I'm going to read um, I think it's called, what did he call it? I don't want to get the name wrong, but one of the conquistadors, one of the people who came over here and murdered the Indians in Florida, he wrote something like the Declaration, where he was just saying that if y'all don't take Christianity as a religion, your kids will suffer. Their kids will suffer. You will suffer. You will be so poor. We're going to put so much war on you that if you do not become a Christian, you will die. So I'm going to read that. Not on this one, but probably in the next couple of videos. I want to read that, but it breaks my heart every time I read like the mindset that these invaders had to just come, kill, destroy, take over, and just do this for years and years and years. And it leads us to here, where a history has been built that is a pseudo history. It's not really telling the truth. And there's still a strong wave of people and a strong energy just to keep it buried, to keep it covered, to keep it silent. But my thing is, it's out, guys. Like, this history is all over the world. You might not be able to find a lot of those original Indian images in United States books because they're all whitewashed. But when you go out to the other countries, they have the true images. So that's why when I see these images of these autochthonous, these indigenous true Indian, aka Niiji, not the whitewashed ones, I'm just in awe, you know. And I'm probably going to be in awe for the rest of my life because there's so much information that's just coming out. It's all over, it's all over. And as we are at the tail end of 2025, for me, I just want to just continue to show my gratitude to the people who continue to find these new discoveries, share these videos, unlock different details, whether it is relation to the money, whether it's in relationship to how we look, whether it's in relationship to how we dress, how we talk, where we live, where's the wealth that we have, the things that were done to us, the torture that was done to us. It's just outrageous. It said they used the fat from the Indians to cover their wounds. They used the fat from the Indians to cover their wounds. So they actually cut the skin off of our ancestors and put it on their wounds. It's things like that that I read. It's just like, I couldn't imagine being back in those times and invaders pulling up and just killing everybody you know. And it said they killed that whole village, and it was like 26, 27 women left that they didn't kill. And there was one Indian left to protect the women. But after all of their people died, he just hung himself. He committed suicide because he's like, I'd rather just kill myself versus letting these invaders, these pilgrims, these, you know, well, this was the Spanish people. I don't know if they go by pilgrims, but these lunatics take me. So then they kidnapped all the women, made them their nurses, and made them carry their luggage and pretty much treated them like shit. That's not a good way to end the video, but this is the truth, guys. And even though the truth is dirty when it comes to my ancestors, even though the truth is so heartbreaking and hard to hear, like we have to hear it. Like are we going to continue listening to the rosy color picture, or are we going to continue to dig deep and have those conversations and talk about the important things that matter? Because the mindset of these people when they pulled up all that long time ago still exists today. You can see it in the news. It still exists today. So you can't just say, oh, we be quiet, everything's cool. Everything's not cool, because that mindset behind closed doors is still being exacerbated today. That's why we have to continue to try to unlock the mystery behind it, try to come to some type of understanding, try to continue to wake up, be aware, and just be knowledgeable. Just know who you are and have no fear about knowing who you are and being the best that you can be and not being ignorant. Like, I'm just so grateful that I don't go into 2025 with ignorance. Like, we letting the ignorance go. Don't go into 2025 using this as what you're fighting for your whole life. You're really fighting for the land. You're really fighting for the knowledge. That's the power. This stuff, fake. Fake. And they put these people on here, their faces, they honor the people who were the leaders of murdering Indians, who made all the laws to lock us out of our whole indigenous land, our inheritance. Fake. We out with the fake, out with the pseudo history. Bye bye. Bye bye, pseudo history. The more pseudo history that's created, the faster it gets debunked. The real is the only thing that's gonna stand the test of time. So let's just get real. Like, y'all gotta get real. Like, the hate can't last forever. The dishonesty can't last forever. Just get real. Like, get real. Can we just get real? Like, this fake ass money, this fake ass knowledge, this fake ass history. Can we just tell the motherfucking truth? Somebody said, but you're a doctor. Like, listen, I've been in this body, in this mind for 30 plus years, believing a lie, being brainwashed, being told to feel like I'm less than, being bullied for my melanated skin since a child, feeling like we were slaves, feeling like we had no connection to the land, just not even my ancestors, my recent ancestors didn't even have the awareness to do the family tree. They just went with the flow. Just like, it is what it is. I'm not rocking like that. Once I knew the truth, it was my whole demeanor changed. I'm so grateful that 2025, I did not go out here and begin a whole new year as a simp, as an ignorant person who still believe the history that has been fed to me. instead of going out and uncovering the truth, instead of seeking those people who are uncovering the truth. Because I want the truth. I don't want to be a pseudo person, a pseudo life, living in the matrix. And I always wonder, like, what the hell they mean by the matrix? And I watched the movie, I still didn't get it. Like, what do they mean? I didn't really get it until I start reading. So a lot of people who are coming in, they're like, wow, I can't believe I'm watching this awakening in real life. Yes, this is real life. I was in the dirty South. I was deeply embedded into religion. Christian, Christmas, Thanksgiving, holidays, 4th of July, got this flag on, just, I'm trying to go to Africa to find my people. Don't know nothing about Africa. So to be in this whole new identity, I'm just forever like grateful to my ancestors for just doing what they had to do to keep our history going without them eradicating us the way they have done so many people around the world. I'm just so grateful for that. I'm grateful for the knowledge finally coming out. I'm grateful for the people who don't look like me who come out and tell the truth. They're like, you know what? We did this, guys. We got to stop lying. It's just the people who ignore it, the people who continue to thrive off of that. Like, y'all got to stop. You got to stop. You got to stop. All right. So, yeah, that's my tone today, guys. I said this wasn't going to be a long video, but obviously I had a lot to get off my chest. But thank y'all for subscribing to my channel. Let's continue to go into 2025. Even if you're unsure about who you are, do that genealogy, do that research, trust yourself, be unapologetic, and let's just continue to grow, my Niiji. Let's just continue to, come together, have those difficult conversations, look at those difficult videos, find that deep, deep truth. Try to unlock your brain and don't be so closed off, and just respect everything that you find. Like, let's continue to share it. I love it. I appreciate you guys. And I mean, we're headed to somewhere great. All right. So this is Dr. Sean, the motivational dentist, aka your Niiji chiefess. Ow. And I'm out. See you in the next video.